Hey, landlords, let's talk about the top questions to ask your tenant when you're screening them and when you're showing the property. For me, this is what I have been using for years and years. I have screened thousands of tenants, I have signed thousands of leases. It works for me. It works for our property management company and it works for all of my clients. You can follow along right on the website. As you can see on the screen right here, the link is in the description. And you can also download a PDF form. So that way, when you go to your showings, you can actually have it right in front of you on paper. To me, the screening starts the moment you receive the lead in an email or a text message. Right away, I'm always responding back with, can you please tell me a little bit about yourself, your employment, and your monthly income, and how many occupants? I usually always start like this. And that way, when I get a response from the tenant, I can see exactly what they put there. Believe it or not, sometimes I have tenants reply in saying, I'm not comfortable with giving you these details. And then normally I just respond back, I am sorry. We deal with so many different types of tenants in this business. We have to make sure that we screen our tenants. If you're not comfortable with answering my questions, I am so sorry. I am not comfortable with renting the property to you. You have to do it like this because you are interviewing the tenant right from the beginning. It is so important. So once the tenant gets back to you and you feel like, okay, this is a good tenant, let's move forward and I'm going to show the property to this tenant. If you're going to hire a realtor or somebody to do the showings for you, make sure that they are doing this really good. I believe that landlords should be meeting their tenants themselves, but I understand there's situations where you have to have a realtor or a property manager doing your showings just to make sure that they know exactly what they're doing. Because if they don't, this is the beginning steps to an eviction problem. Believe me when I say this because we deal with it all the time. So when you meet this tenant, you want to shake their hand, you want to look at them in the eyes, and you want to start studying them right away. You want to see the reactions to your questions. Now, I don't just interview them with questions, bam, 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 bam. What I do is through the entire showing process, I am interviewing them and asking them questions as we're going through the showing. I'm also going to have small talk with them because I want to see how they react to my questions and, talk about even today. The sun's out, it's beautiful. So, I mean, something that I'm going to break the ice with is, oh, it's such a beautiful day today. What do you have planned for after the showing? And I want to know how they engage with me. I want to know if they're just, really like don't want to talk or they're, what their attitude is because I am interviewing them and I don't have to like them. It's not my job to like them. It's my job to determine, can you pay your rent? And that is so very important. So let's go through some of the questions. Again, you can follow directly on the website. The link is in the description. So you want to start with a light, natural conversation. The best tenant interviews never feel like interrogations. Begin casually, build a rapport, and observe posture, tone, eye contact, and how confidently they answer. So you want to ask, where do you work? How long have you been working there? Where are you living right now? How is your relationship with your current landlord? Right. So you want to ask these questions, and I would just kind of pick your moments through the showing. You don't want to just hit them because it is a little bit invasive. And some people, they're really conservative with information. They don't want to share a lot. So we just want to make sure that we also are making them feel comfortable with this. And trust me, once you do this a few different times, you're going to master it and it's always going to be the same. And you don't even have to go through the PDF where you can download and bring it directly to the showing with you. You're just going to know what to ask and it's going to become natural to you. So the next is you want to clarify the household occupancy. Okay, this is important for many different types of properties, especially if you're renting student rooms. You want to make sure that they're not bringing their partners and living there with them because I've seen it many times where students will rent a room and then they're going to try to bring 4 people to go and share and sleep on the floor, right? So understanding who will live in the unit ensures the household is and can maintain a stable rent payments. So how many people will be living here? What does each person in the household do for work? Do you have any dependents, children, or pets? So this is important to clarify right off the hop. That way, nobody wastes their time because some properties we do not allow pets, and I understand this. So we want to make sure that we get that right out of the way as quickly as possible. Sometimes with pets and small details like this, we want to find out before we do the showing. We don't want to waste our time doing the showings. So the next is evaluate income and financial stability. These questions confirm whether the tenant can comfortably afford the property and whether they're transparent about their financial situation. A lot of tenants are not. So you want to make sure that you keep a mental note on these answers because they're going to be doing a screening process and you want to make sure whether you're going to be finding some type of lie or hidden truth within this. And believe me, it happens quite often. What is your combined monthly household income? Are you comfortable with a full credit check and employment verification? Is there anything on your credit report that we should be aware of ahead of time? This is very important because many tenants have had problems in the past making payments or different things like this. But we have to understand situations with people, and each situation is going to have its own answer. So we're going to evaluate it ourselves. And for me, when I deal with tenants, depending on how they answer me and depending on our conversation, sometimes I'm a little bit more lenient with these kinds of details. Confirm rental history and reliability. Past behavior is one of the strongest predictors of future behavior. These questions uncover payment habits, honesty, and potential red flags. So you want to make sure that these tenants have never been evicted, that they don't have any pending N4 or L1 this moment, and that's why they're moving, or there's judgment against them, and that's why they're moving, or they're being evicted. You want to find out these answers, right? So, are you currently paid up in full with your rent? I ask this question all the time, and I want to know their answer because if they hesitate, I know that it's something that I'm going to look a little bit deeper into. Can you show receipts of proof of payment? So, if they say, yes, I'm paid up front, then my next question is, are you able to show receipts that you have paid up front? Do you mind if we contact your current landlord? This is very important. You want to contact the previous landlord because you want to find out any red flags with any history or reliability. It's so very important. And you want to ask them why they are moving. You're going to get all kinds of different stories here. So you just want to make sure that you're listening, you're paying attention, and that way it's up to you, the landlord, to uncover any potential red flags or hidden truths because you're going to find them quite often. Set professional screening expectations. Professional landlords set expectations early so tenants understand the screening standards from the beginning. I do this all the time. And if I have a tenant that walks away from me during a showing because they don't like the questions that I'm asking them, to me, I say, yes, thank you, because I don't want to have potential problems with tenants. If they don't like my questions, and if they don't like answering them, then I'll be honest with you and I'll be honest with the tenant. I don't want to rent to you. And I do say this to tenants on a regular basis, especially if they don't want to answer questions. Because me, it actually upsets me and it ticks me off when tenants don't want to share details with me. And that is a complete turn off because you want to make sure you're finding a great tenant who can pay rent and who is going to take care of your property. We conduct full screening process for all applicants, including credit checks, employment verification, government ID verification, previous landlord references, and an LTB order search. This protects both the tenant and the landlord and ensures transparency. I do say this to the tenants, and I do say that we are a part of Landlord Easy and they handle all the screening process. And because we are a member, they protect landlords' rights. And if there's ever a problem, they begin the eviction process. And if there's ever a judgment, it gets posted publicly so everybody can see it. So that right there is key. You always want to make sure if you're a member of Landlord Easy, I think every landlord in this industry should be because it's your backbone. You're talking about Landlord Easy. You're talking about how it protects landlords. You're talking about that you're a member because you want the tenant to know that there is an organization out there that represents you, the landlord, and that way you're going to be fully protected. And quite literally, if you have one tenant, it's only $5 a month for this protection. So it's quite amazing. And you also want to mention that you do rent reporting to Equifax every single month. Optional lifestyle and fit questions. These questions help landlords understand personality, lifestyle, and how the tenant may fit into the community. What do you do for fun? I always ask this. I think it's important. I like to have a conversation just to kind of see who I'm dealing with. Are you a real person? Do you like conversation? Are you nice? Are you genuinely kind? I want to find this out and I want to know because I want to have a relationship with my tenants. I want to be able to communicate with them. And I want to know that when times get hard or if the questions are too difficult for you, etc., how you're going to be dealing with me. What does a typical weekday look like for you? So you want to find out if they work from home or they're working from an actual location, etc. So this is more casual talk. You want to just do this while you're kind of going through the showing and you're, you talk about the nice weather outside, or if it's raining, it's like, oh, it's raining today. I hope it's nice tomorrow. This weekend I have some really cool plans going to a park with my family. I hope it's nice. What are you doing this weekend? Things like this, you want to have that conversation. What matters most to you in a rental home? You want to find out these questions. And this is some things that I ask through my showing. I ask for feedback and I say, well, what do you think of the property? Is there anything here that you don't like? Is there anything here that you do like or that you recommend? And I want the tenant to feel at this time that I'm caring and I'm going to take a look if there's anything that they would request. So, anyways, that's it, landlords. You can check the description, click on the link, download these questions directly right here so you can bring it to you on all of your showings. Thanks, landlords. I hope this helps you. Appreciate everything and happy landlording.